All right, hello everybody. A couple months ago, I uploaded this model to Thingiverse Printables and MakerWorld to try and get some feedback. I initially designed this over the summer. I brought it to my local dive shop to try and get people to try it out just because I wanted some design feedback, not only for this specific product, but just for modeling practices in the future, at least physical modeling models in the future. This nobody asked, but this is just for a label. I stuck my name and website on it when I loaned them to the dive shop, just so for a bit of awareness. Yeah, the initial design main thing was modularity, strength, and being able to attach bungee cords around them to secure it. The bungee cords are a bit extreme. For them to fall out without the bungee cord, you'd need to be driving or knocking them over in a pretty serious manner. But I digress. This is the original model. I uploaded it on both, and it actually did. It had got a fairly decent amount of traction. Not that that's my goal, but it got 41 on Thingiverse and 62 on Printables, which actually surprised me. But I'm very glad to hear. But the number one comment I got on feedback, both in DMs and in public comments, is modularity, or not modularity, but size adjustment. They want to be able to store multiple sizes. And I initially thought about it, but then I took it as a non-issue because most people have these classic Steelies, which are 7.25 inch in diameter tanks. But you know, feedback is feedback, and that's one thing I didn't anticipate to be as severe. So I kind of cascaded into three main improvements that I had to do. One thing that I wanted absolutely were these bungee cord holes. I think it's just a good practice. It's just a good feature. But one thing but for that to happen, there has to be enough gap between the edges of the tank and the edge of the part for a bungee cord to slip by, which is why it's modeled. It might all like a bit strangely, but edge of tank to edge of part to constrain. But this means that you might notice here for this 7.25 inch tank versus this 5.25 inch tank, this uh, surface here is much thinner, which means that the screws that I initially designed this to be used with, or that the screws I selected to use this with, don't work when you scale the model up or down, which is a bit of a bummer that people have to kind of tinker with that. So I really figured that there should be an all-in-one solution, and obviously practices or in CAD it can look as good as it wants, even though I don't think this is the most elegant of solutions just yet. Um, but I want to test this, and that's why I'm printing. You see, I even cut off the top to make it just to go a bit quicker. I just want to print a bit of it just to see if the tolerances fit, and then I want to print a full scale one. This is PLA, but I'll make one in ABS just to make sure it can take a beating. The other thing I thought about was, and this might come as a bit too much of a compromise on aesthetics, and hopefully not, but potentially strength, is this is quite a big part, especially when you have it at this size. So I don't think it fits on, for example, a bamboo A1. I don't think it fits on. I haven't checked, but I can't imagine that most people have the build plate of a, in my case, an X1 carbon, which is 256 millimeters across, and this barely fits on it. So I'm looking into, and I kind of have this dovetailer bow tie uh, insert to try and give it strength, or try to join them and hopefully give it enough strength. We're gonna see if this is a durable enough solution. Don't mind my bad paint job. I just did this for demo. Uh, this is where this is step two. Step two is printing it. I've done basically step one. I'm gonna try and integrate everyone's feedback, print it, test it, and then step three, if we get there, post it, and then see if people have genuine feedback. Because I would really like to see this printed in the wild. And I actually even I won't divulge their name, but I got a DM from a firefighter who uses oxygen tanks for fire services and fire rescue, and he was looking at not only being able to scale it to the size tank that they use, but oh, I noticed that we were comparing oops, that we were comparing the width sizes, but they're actually the same size. So if I reduce it here, you'll only see a few error messages, which I'll iron out eventually. Uh, uh, yeah, you see, like this is for the much smaller tank, and this surface here really isn't that big. Ignore that this isn't filtered. Ignore that that isn't filtered. I'm working on it. Don't worry about it. Baby girl, baby boy, baby they. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for people to try it out. Um, and yeah, well, the main thing as well is that because these heights are the same, you'll be able to stack or line up this size with this size or any size that you make. They will be the same height, and that dovetail at the end will be the same size no matter what. The only thing that will scale is its diameter and the overall length of it. I'll surely post a video when I've got it printed out and me mercilessly demolishing it. Actually, the funny story, I showed it to one of my cousins, and I have printed multiple of these, both to try and get multiple people to test it, but also just to tweak a little bit, some dimensions and some, like some little things. Uh, and I like, I basically said try and break it in half, and it took him like, I don't want to say a negligible amount of force, but it took him a fair amount of force. It flexed a lot before it did, and but he did break it, and I don't want him to be able to break it. And maybe that's, well, Paul, why you don't want him to break it, but then you put a stupid dovetail joint in it. Listen, we're gonna test it. We're gonna see if it works. We gotta see if it works. But I've also increased the thickness here. It's a bit taller here. It's 15 millimeters instead of 10. Let's see how it goes. And yes, like I said, I'm excited for people to try it out.